Hello everyone. By the time I have discussed about the ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution, arbitration, mediation and conciliation. And in this video I will discuss another sort of ADR, namely Lok Adalat. Okay, so let's understand first its meaning and concept. Lok Adalat is one of the alternative dispute redressal mechanisms under which the disputes, cases pending in the court of law or at pre-litigation stage are settled or compromised amicably. So here there are 2 points. The first one is settled. So dispute or cases even pending in the court that can be also taken under this Lok Adalat and can be resolved either through settlement or can be compromised but amicably. As name suggests, Lok Adalat, or in English People's Court. Okay, Lok people, Adalat court. Okay, so it is People's Court, is a forum. So it is a forum. Now focus on the term forum to resolve the disputes as well as decide the pending cases. And where it is pending? In the court. Okay, so the cases which are pending in the court that can be also taken by Lok Adalat, okay, and can be resolved amicably. So the concept of settlement of dispute through ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution, by means of mediation, negotiation or through arbitral process known as decision of Nyay Panchayat, okay, and which is of course very old concept or ancient concept in India. It's not a new at all. Is conceptualized and institutionalized in the philosophy of Lok Adalat. Okay, the term Lok Adalat is new, but the procedure, the concept, that is very old. Okay, the salient features of Lok Adalats are participation, as both the parties participates willingly in the proceedings, accommodation, okay, they accommodate each other, fairness, okay, voluntariness, neighborliness, transparency, efficiency and lack of animosity. So see how many features Lok Adalat has. The first Lok Adalat was held in Gujarat in 1982 and then in Chennai in 1986, right? So this is a sort of general knowledge for you. Now come on the next topic, that is nature of cases referred to Lok Adalat. Means what are the nature of the cases that can be considered under the Lok Adalat. Okay, the first one is any case pending before any court. So the case already pending in the court that can be also taken in Lok Adalat for the settlement. Okay, and the next one is any dispute which has not been brought before any court and is likely to be filed before the court. It is about to be filed in the court. So that case, instead of filing in the court, if parties are interested, then they can approach directly to Lok Adalat, provided that any matter relating to an offence or not compoundable under the law shall not be settled in Lok Adalat. Okay, it means that though Lok Adalat takes up the cases of both in nature, that is civil as well as in criminal, but the criminal cases which are compoundable in nature, only those cases Lok Adalat takes. But if the case is non-compoundable, then Lok Adalat doesn't take that case, because Lok Adalat has no jurisdiction on those types of non-compoundable cases, right? Now the next topic we have, that is types of cases referred to Lok Adalat. So here we will discuss in detail what are the basically types of cases. Though we came to know that Lok Adalat can take all sorts of civil disputes as well as criminal cases, but there is restriction while taking up the criminal cases. So usually Lok Adalat settle the cases related to financial matters, partition suit, damages, matrimonial cases, okay, all of them are civil in nature, but some cases that is criminal in nature, but essentially compoundable cases that can be also considered under the Lok Adalat. Moreover, Lok Adalat deals with civil cases including marriage and family disputes and compoundable criminal cases. That's it. But Lok Adalat has no jurisdiction to deal with non-compoundable cases and divorce cases. See, though divorce cases are civil in nature, but Lok Adalat has no jurisdiction to deal with divorce cases. But yes, it has the jurisdiction to deal with matrimonial disputes, but not divorce cases. Keep in mind. Now, the next topic we have, that is laws on Lok Adalat. By following the Article 39A of the Indian Constitution, the Parliament has enacted the Legal Service Authorities Act. Which act? The Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. Under the Act, Lok Adalats have been given a statutory status and power to resolve the disputes. The Act constitutes legal services authorities to provide free legal aid, focus on free legal aid, and competent legal services to the weaker sections of the society. Again, focus on the term weaker sections of the society. So the concept of Lok Adalat to provide legal service, that is free legal aid, to the people who have no access, no resources, and not financially sound enough to hire themselves the advocate to get resolved their disputes. Okay, so this is basically the concept, to provide free legal aid, which is mentioned in the Article 39A of the Indian Constitution under the heading Directive Principles of a State Policy. Remember? Okay. Further, in 2002, the Act was amended to establish permanent Lok Adalats for public utility services. Though until 2002, it was not a permanent, rather an ad hoc basis. But after that amendment, means after 2002 amendment, the permanent Lok Adalats also set up. Under the said Act, the award decision made by the Lok Adalat is deemed to be a decree of a civil court. So its award is equivalent to a civil court, keep in mind, and is final and binding on all parties, and no appeal against such an award lies before any court of law. So the award given by the Lok Adalat that cannot be appealed or challenged in any court of the country. Keep in mind. But if the parties are not satisfied with the award of the Lok Adalat, though there is no provision for an appeal against such an award, but they are free to initiate litigation by approaching the court of appropriate jurisdiction, by filing a case, by following the required procedure in exercise of their right to litigate. Okay, what it means that if you are not satisfied with the award given by Lok Adalat, then you can file a lawsuit and start the proceeding of litigation. So there is no point to consider the decision or award given by the Lok Adalat. You have to start from the beginning itself, right? Furthermore, the National Legal Service Authority, that is NALSA, a statutory body constituted under the National Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, which is responsible for laying down policies and principles for making legal services under the Act and frame the most effective and economical schemes for legal services. NALSA is engaged in providing legal services, legal aid, and speedy justice through Lok Adalat. So that is, you can say that NALSA is an administrative body that looks after the things, makes the rules, provisions, and arrange the Lok Adalats and do everything to give the justice to the, especially the poor sections of the society. So see the purpose behind Lok Adalat. Now the next topic that we have, that is levels and composition of Lok Adalats. The first one, of course, starting with the National Lok Adalat. National level Lok Adalats are held at regular intervals, where on a single day Lok Adalats are held throughout the country. So on a single day throughout the country, the Lok Adalat conducted. Okay, in all the courts, right from the Supreme Court till the taluk levels, wherein cases are disposed in huge numbers. From February 2015, National Lok Adalats are being held on a specific subject matter every month. So see, basically the purpose behind arranging such kind of Lok Adalat, starting from the national level to taluk level, is to resolve the disputes or cases those are pending in the court. Okay, so that is the purpose behind that. And the second point, that is after February 2015, it is being held on a specific subject matter every month. Okay, now the second level is the state level. Okay, more often the member secretary of the state level services authority organizes the Lok Adalat, which constitutes benches of the Lok Adalat, each bench comprising of a sitting or retired judge of the High Court or a sitting or retired judicial officer and any one or both of a member from the legal profession. Besides, a social worker engaged in the upliftment of the weaker sections and interested in the implementation of legal services schemes or programs. So these are the members of that state authority level Lok Adalat. Okay, the next one is at High Court level. The secretary of the High Court level services committee would constitute benches of the Lok Adalat, each bench comprising of a sitting or retired judge of the High Court and any one or both of a member from the legal profession, a social worker engaged in the upliftment of the weaker sections and interested in the implementation of legal services, schemes or programs. Okay, the next level is at district level. The secretary of the district level services authority organizing the Lok Adalat would constitute benches of the Lok Adalat, each bench comprising of a sitting or retired judicial officer and any one or both of either a member from the legal profession and or a social worker engaged in the upliftment of the weaker sections and interested in the implementation of legal services, schemes or programs, or a person engaged in paralegal activities of the area, preferably a woman. Okay, so these are the members who are supposed to resolve the dispute or settle the cases. Okay, now the last level that we have after the district level, that is at Taluk level. The secretary of the Taluk Legal Services Committee organizing the Lok Adalat would constitute benches of the Lok Adalat, each bench comprising of a sitting or retired judicial officer and any one or both of either a member from the legal profession and or a social worker engaged in the upliftment of the weaker sections and interested in the implementation of legal services, schemes or programs, or a person engaged in paralegal activities of the area, preferably a woman. Now, the next point, that is the last point, though it is not in the order, but it is in the same line, that is Permanent Lok Adalat. As we have discussed that after 2002 Amendment Act, the Permanent Lok Adalat setup. Okay, remember? Okay, let's check it out. So by the time we were discussing about the ad hoc Lok Adalat, now we have the Permanent Lok Adalat. Permanent Lok Adalat, organized under Section 22B of the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. Permanent Lok Adalats have been set up as permanent bodies with a chairman and two members for providing compulsory pre-litigative mechanism for conciliation and settlement of cases relating to public utility services like transport, postal, telegraph, etc. Okay, the jurisdiction of the Permanent Lok Adalats is up to rupees 10 lakhs. How much? It is 10 lakhs. The Lok Adalat may conduct the proceedings in such a manner as it considers appropriate, taking into account the circumstances of the case, wishes of the parties like requests to hear oral statements, speedy settlement of disputes, etc. The award of the Permanent Lok Adalat is final and binding upon the parties. Okay. Now we have the last one that is very interesting for you guys. That is Mobile Lok Adalat. Surprising. But see what it is. Mobile Lok Adalats are also organized in various parts of the country which travel from one location to another to resolve disputes in order to facilitate the resolution of disputes through this mechanism. So see how actively administration mixed with the judiciary looking after the problem of the people, but still there are lakhs of problems at every strata of the society. Anyway, now let's check out the advantages of Lok Adalat. Following are the major advantages of Lok Adalat. No court fee. Surprising. There is no court fee payable when a matter is filed in a Lok Adalat. So no court fee at all. Not only this, if a matter pending in the court of law is referred to Lok Adalat and is settled subsequently, the court fee originally paid in the court on the complaint's petition is also refunded back to the parties. So how beautiful it is. Procedure is simple. Of course, unlike litigation, the procedure of Lok Adalat is very simple. Okay, where parties can directly interact with the judges. So if you don't have any legal representative, don't worry, you can yourself. Okay. Next advantage is accepts new as well as pending cases. It not only accepts the new cases or disputes but also accepts cases pending in regular courts under its jurisdiction. Accepts both types of cases, civil as well as criminal. We have already discussed this point. All sorts of civil cases can be resolved through Lok Adalat. However, wherever the matter of criminal cases, then only compoundable cases are accepted here. And even in civil matter, divorce cases cannot be filed in Lok Adalat. Okay. Next advantage is the decision of the Lok Adalat is binding. The decision is binding upon the parties and the award can be executed by a court of law. Okay. Next advantage is no appeal. I don't know whether you will find it advantage or disadvantage, but there is no provision to appeal against the decision or award of Lok Adalat. However, if parties are not satisfied, then they can file a fresh lawsuit in a competent court. That's it. Okay. So there is no scope of appeal against the award given by Lok Adalat. Now, last but not the least, Lok Adalat maintains the record. All proceedings in a Lok Adalat are recorded and maintained for future reference. Thus, it is also known as court of record. Moreover, the persons deciding the cases in the Lok Adalats are called the members of the Lok Adalats. They have the role of statutory conciliators only and do not have any judicial role. So, see, focus on. Now you understood the concept of conciliator, so you can appreciate the meaning of this word here. So, the members have the role of statutory conciliators only and do not have any judicial role. So, these members have no judicial role, keep in mind. Therefore, they can only persuade because of having only conciliator role. So, they can only persuade the parties to come to a conclusion for settling the dispute outside the court in the Lok Adalat and shall not pressurize or curse any of the parties to compromise or settle cases or matters either directly or indirectly. So, members of the Lok Adalat are not allowed to force or pressurize either directly or indirectly to the parties to compromise or settle the case. Instead, they can only suggest the best possible solution. Then it depends upon the parties' understanding whether they accept that or not. If they accept, fine. If not, then they will file a fresh lawsuit in the regular court. Okay. The Lok Adalat shall not decide the matter so referred to its own instance. Instead, the same would be decided on the basis of the compromise or settlement between the parties. So see another beautiful point, that whatever the facts of the case, Lok Adalat doesn't much focus on that. Rather, it focuses on the compromise part or settlement part between the parties. Okay. So the last point, that is, the members shall assist the parties in an independent and impartial manner in their attempt to reach amicable settlement of their dispute. So this is so beautiful concept, that is Lok Adalat, where number of cases being resolved. Okay, so now if you come to know about this, then you can suggest someone that Lok Adalat is another option, especially those people who have no money to file the lawsuit in the court. Okay, so this is all for this video, where we have discussed about the meaning and concept of the Lok Adalat, and then we discussed the nature of cases referred to Lok Adalat, and then the types of cases referred to Lok Adalat, and then laws on Lok Adalat, and then levels and composition of Lok Adalats, and lastly we have discussed the advantages of Lok Adalat. Okay, so see you in next video with a new topic. Keep watching.